There are some games that stay with you long after you stop playing them, and this one has stayed with me for almost 3 decades. Going back to Theme Hospital after all these years revealed things that I remembered perfectly, but also things I'd completely forgotten. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to Tales from Memory Lane, where today I'm going to introduce you to a fantastic game and share some of my memories, stories, and experience with it. Today, we're looking at Theme Hospital, a business simulation game released in March 1997 by Bullfrog Productions. In Theme Hospital, you design and run your own hospital, but instead of real illnesses, you cure made-up conditions like bloaty head and slack tongue, and people who have turned literally invisible. It's silly, bright, creative, and full of personality. I originally played Theme Hospital on my PC using a keyboard and mouse. It came out during the golden era of management games. Bullfrog at the time were already well known for Theme Park and things like Dungeon Keeper, and they were the kings of humorous, imaginative strategy and simulation games. Theme Hospital absolutely reflects this era. Reviewers praised it for its strong gameplay, detailed and readable visuals, very funny tone, and great voice acting. There were mixed opinions about the music's repetition and the user interface and how some of the levels just felt a bit similar, but even though it still stood out as one of Bullfrog's most iconic games. I think I first played it around 1998. I'd already played Theme Park and absolutely loved it. So when I saw Bullfrog had made a hospital version, I had to try it. My first impression was, this is fantastic. Even as a young teen, it struck me as a perfect balance of silly fun and a real challenge. I never used any cheats or mods, and I just kept replaying the campaign, pushing myself as far as I could go through the levels each time. The graphics are an isometric style, almost cartoon-like. They're bright and bold and vibrant, but they stand out today, and honestly, I wish more modern games would have a style more like this, rather than washed out browns that we sometimes see. I think the soundtrack is catchy and fun, and fits in with the classic 90s sim feel. And the audio design? Spot on, especially with the hospital Tannoy announcer.
Doctor required an inflator room.
Things like that really stuck with me. And the lines that they delivered were so funny, dry, absolutely perfect for the game.
Patients are reminded not to die in the corridors.
Theme Hospital became a bit of a cult classic, but not quite a household name. It's certainly one of the most well-remembered titles in the series. I played it on and off for a few years, mostly solo, but sometimes me and a friend would take turns, sort of co-op, giving each other advice whilst the other one played. And I believe I got to around level 8 of the 12 possible levels. I found that the biggest challenges were keeping the hospital clean, especially controlling the vomit waves, and also stopping the machines from breaking and exploding all the time. Managing the staff wasn't too bad, but avoiding queues at some of the GP's offices was sometimes challenging. Every so often, you'd get a sudden warning that a group of patients with the same illness were about to arrive all at once. It was a real emergency sense of tension. You could either accept the emergency and treat everybody quickly, or decline it and avoid the risk of failure. It was a simple system, but the pressure was real. Your machines needed to be working, your staff needed to be alert, and your queues need to be controlled. And if everything went well, you got a big boost. But if it went badly, you could end up losing patients. It was one of those perfect risk and reward mechanics that kept the gameplay exciting. And we mustn't forget the rat shooting level. Of course, if you was very good at the game, you probably wouldn't get to this level at all. My favourite memory has to be the intro sequence. It perfectly sets the tone, and even today watching it back, it still makes me smile. And the most satisfying moments were beating the harder levels, getting the hospital to run smoothly. And that's what kept me coming back. That plus its charm. The illnesses were funny, the animations were clever, and watching the little hospital fill up with all the patients never got old. And of course, the illnesses and cures stand out. Bloaty head, one of the first ones, where you pop the head and re-inflate it. The slack tongue still makes me wince every time it slices somebody. And things like the King Complex were funny, seeing Elvis impersonators walking all around the hospital. Each cure was a little visual treat. It also fed my love for management and strategy games. The later stages taught me to think ahead, plan layouts, manage staff and balance the resources. Those skills stuck with me in many other games. Now, there weren't really any fan communities or anything like that I was aware of, but the game did fit perfectly into my life as a weekend game I would play on the family computer in the dining room. I did revisit Theme Hospital briefly a few years ago, but I more recently returned to it during my Trips Down Memory Lane livestream series using CorsixTH. It brought back a lot of good memories, and honestly, it still holds up really well. I even introduced it to my daughter, who's 8, and she enjoyed it. It didn't feel old or clunky, it was just a fun game to her. And what surprised me most is how satisfying it still is to put together a well-designed hospital, manage the staff, and watch everything run smoothly. Most things have aged really well, even the humour, which can be a rare thing. The only thing that feels a little old-fashioned is the all-male doctors and all-female nurses setup, but that's just a little bit more of a reflection of the time it was made. You can still play the original game, especially if you own it on GOG, but the best way to play it is through CorsixTH, although you do need the original game files. CorsixTH modifies the game without changing it too much. It performs slightly better and runs on modern operating systems really nicely with good resolutions. It's a little more stable. Just note that very high resolutions can make the UI really tiny. It's probably best to change the in-game resolution down to maybe 720 or 1080p. This, for me, was the ideal size to make the interface. Oh, and when you're setting up your audio, you must point CorsixTH to the correct sound files folder inside the Theme Hospital root. You can't just put it to the root folder and it won't necessarily find the music files. Theme Hospital has inspired some spiritual successors. Project Hospital goes deeper with a little bit of a realistic slant. It's quite detailed and more serious, less comedy, but 2 Point Hospital, made by some of the original Bullfrog team, aimed to recapture that playful spirit of Theme Hospital. It is charming and it works quite well, and I think it's quite a good game. I did feel it missed the mark a little bit though, especially in the comedy and fun side of things. I also felt that the room building got repetitious. There's lots of different configuration options, which is nice to put your own personal style on it, but then you have to do those configuration options again and again and again and again. Even today, the Theme Hospital style remains popular because no one else has really fully captured that mix of humour and strategy and personality that was in the game, and therefore I would definitely recommend it to pretty much anybody. And if I could play it again for the first time, I definitely would. It's still a joy to play now and a wonderful trip back in time. Although these days I do find the early levels really easy. Now that I'm older and I'm also a more seasoned gamer, there's no really any challenge to them, but the challenge does build up throughout the levels, so the fun is still there. And honestly, at the end of the day, going back doesn't make me look at an old clunky game that has just retro charm. It is a bold and confident game with bright graphics, a strong sense of humour, and fun to play even today. So there we have it. If you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing for more Tales Down Memory Lane, and tell me your own fond memories of Theme Hospital down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Click the link on screen or in the description to go check out my Trips Down Memory Lane livestream series, where you can see game action from both Theme Hospital and other fantastic retro games. I'll see you there.